Asterisk. I never told my children this. But when I was 18, something happened that changed my life forever. And it wasn't easy. I want to share it with you now. Asterisk. I grew up in a small town called Milford, in a tiny house with peeling blue paint and a leaky roof. My name is Sarah, and back then life felt like a constant battle. My dad worked double shifts at the lumber mill, coming home with sawdust in his hair and pain in his back. My mom took in laundry from neighbors just to put food on the table. There were nights when dinner was just bread with a little butter, and I'd pretend I wasn't hungry so my younger brother could have more. Every morning I walked 3 miles to school in shoes that had holes in the soles. Kids laughed at my patched-up clothes and called me, "Poor Sarah." I'd smile on the outside, but inside I felt so small. Teachers said I was smart, but dreams felt impossible when you're worried about whether the electricity will stay on. By the time I turned 16, I started working after school. I delivered newspapers at 5 a.m., cleaned houses on weekends, and babysat 3 little kids for a family down the street. Every dollar went straight to my parents. I dreamed of going to college, becoming a teacher, and giving my future family a life without worry. But deep down I was scared those dreams would stay dreams. When I was 18, everything changed on an ordinary Saturday. I was helping my grandmother clean her old wooden chest in the attic. The air smelled like mothballs and memories. As I lifted out some yellowed blankets, my fingers brushed against something hard. It was a small, dusty envelope with my name written on it in handwriting I didn't recognize. My heart started racing. I waited until I was alone in my room to open it. Inside was a single letter, folded carefully. As I read the first line, my hands started shaking so badly I had to sit on the floor. The letter was from a lawyer in the city. It said my real father, who I had never met, was dying. He had left me something in his will, but only if I agreed to one condition. He wanted me to come live with him for 1 year, take his last name, and never tell anyone about my old life. If I did, I would inherit enough money to pay for college, fix our house, and give my family a life they never imagined. If I refused, everything would go to charity, and I would never hear from him again. I cried for hours. How could I leave my mom, dad, and little brother? The people who raised me were my real family. But I saw my mom's tired eyes, my dad's coughing from the mill dust, my brother sleeping in a bed with broken springs. This money could save them. Yet it felt like selling my soul. That night, I sat on the roof outside my window, staring at the stars until dawn. I thought about running away, burning the letter, pretending it never happened. But I couldn't ignore the chance to change everything. I chose the harder path. Said yes. I told my parents I got a full scholarship to a boarding school far away. It broke my heart to lie. My mom hugged me so tight and said she was proud. My brother cried. I cried on the bus all the way to the city. Living with a stranger who was my father was awful at first. He was sick, weak, and distant. The house was huge and cold. Servants looked at me like I didn't belong. I missed my family every single day. I wrote letters home but never mailed them. I felt guilty every time I ate a full meal, wore new clothes, or slept in a warm bed. There were months I wanted to run back home. I failed my first college exams because I couldn't focus. I had nightmares about my mom finding out the truth. I made mistakes, big ones. I trusted the wrong people. I spent money foolishly at first. I even got so depressed I stopped eating for days. But slowly something changed. My father started talking to me. He told me why he left my mom before I was born. He was young, scared, and made terrible choices. He regretted it every day. In his last months, we built a fragile bond. He taught me about money, about standing tall even when you feel fake, about forgiving yourself. When he passed away 6 months later, I was holding his hand. I inherited everything, just like the letter promised. But the money didn't feel like a reward anymore. Felt heavy. Kept my promise. I finished college with honors. I sent money home anonymously. Fixed the roof, paid medical bills, put my brother through school. My parents never knew where it came from. They called it blessings from God. I got married, had 3 beautiful children, built a warm home. But every birthday, every holiday, guilt ate at me. I became the strong mom who never quit, who always smiled, but inside I carried this secret like a stone. There were close calls. Once, my daughter found an old photo of me with my real father and asked questions. I changed the subject. Another time, my mom almost recognized the lawyer's name on some papers. I hid them quickly. For 42 years I kept this buried. I watched my children grow up without struggles, chasing their dreams freely. And I was glad. But I also wanted them to know that strength comes from hard choices, from pain you hide so others don't hurt. Tonight, at 60 years old, sitting in the same attic where I found that envelope, I'm finally ready to tell the truth. My children are adults now. They deserve to know where their lucky life really came from. They deserve to know their mom wasn't perfect. She was just a scared 18-year-old girl who chose love over comfort. If you've ever carried a secret that weighed on your heart, if you've made a choice that hurt but helped the people you love, please share in the comments. You're not alone. And to my children, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I waited so long. But I hope you're proud of the girl I was. I did it all for you. Thank you for listening to my story. It took 42 years to say it out loud. And now I finally feel free. Asterisk.